Pickaxe.
Hello and welcome to this week's podcast version of this week's One Life Left radio show. I'm Simon Byron.
I am Steve Curran.
We've just rattled through the show. It went okay, I think. There's a big audio feature in there, which during it I was wondering if it was a bit too long. I did cut a lot from it, I have to say. And we didn't bother with the racing section. But hopefully you'll get a flavour of the trip to Japan.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, Simon. It's the first time I heard it, and I lolled a few times, so hopefully the listeners will.
I can't recall what other bits and bobs we did record. There is the Nintendo store, so there is that. Was there anything else you remember us recording?
I remember us recording a little bit after we bought the batteries for the device, but that was basically all we did in the electronics store.
Yeah, we didn't do any more in there.
No, so but we can talk about some more consumerism next week, I think. Because I have to run down our shopping.
Yes, Dexter was over at the weekend, and I gave him finally his goodies from the Nintendo store. He's very pleased. So I do know what one of the things was. It's so the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sweets are little gummies, like this, based around the slimes within Zelda. Little gummies you stab with a plastic fork, a plastic sword, and eat them that way.
I cracked open some Pokemon sweets last night.
Okay.
Tiny little gummies. They were terrible. 7 out of 10. But I did open, or rather, Lisa opened the Animal Crossing tin. Did you get that?
No.
Oh, okay. Small biscuits inside that.
We have to be careful about this sort of thing because my wife listens, and what has happened since last week's show is that she then requests things that I didn't buy her. So, the Animal Crossing scales sound good. Yeah, cool. I'm no longer in Tokyo.
All right, let's change the subject then. Simon, I've got a piece of media to recommend.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with video games.
Right.
Have you seen the Ronnie O'Sullivan documentary?
No.
Are you going to see it?
What's it on? iPlayer?
It's currently on Amazon.
Okay, no, I will do.
It is brilliant.
We all love Ronnie.
Yeah, and it is horrifying.
Oh.
Like, as in, have you ever watched him do that? Well, you will have done. The fastest 147 ever in 5 minutes. Oh, there's my door.
Yeah.
Fastest 147 ever, right? And I watched that more than any other YouTube clip, I think, and I'm still tense during it.
Yeah.
Snooker is a game of tension.
Yeah.
Of, there's no way he's going to pop that. No way. And then he does in that instance. This is that magnified by a million. It is the most harrowing, mentally harrowing documentary I think I've seen. It's brilliant. Thoroughly recommended.
Oh, thank you. I will add that to the list. Thank you. I was a bit annoyed. Actually, I tried to load up on Amazon documentaries for the flight, and then I turned on my tablet on the flight, and it was like, oh, you've only half downloaded this. And so, and so I couldn't watch them. Scumbags. Good, right. Well, thank you. Thanks for the recommendation. If you've got any other media recommendations, gaming or otherwise, please do email. Well, somebody knocking on your door. Go and ask them.
Go downstairs, Simon. Why don't you close out the show?
Okay, right. Well, Steve's got 3 stories in his house to show off, so going to have to keep this going for longer.
Let's see who's at the door. Whether I've managed to get there in time.
Let's see how his whole house internet holds up.
It's the delivery man. Sorry, I'm doing a radio show. Literally right now. It's all right. Thank you. Have a good day. There we go.
What is it?
Boxes. It's the Royal Mail. I don't know. They're not addressed to me.
Oh, how disappointing. Good, right. Nice one. All right. Well, blimey. Well, there you go. That's one way of closing the show off with a door slamming. Please enjoy. We'll see you next week.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. It is Monday, the 27th of November, 2023, and my name is still Steve Curran.
Hello, I'm Simon Byron, and a very happy Cyber Monday to you, Steve.
How is your Cyber Monday going, Simon?
Oh,
any
just
bargains?
Wonderful. Well, that was the thing I was referencing last week. I have picked up a bit of a Billy bargain this week. I bought a new gaming laptop, and I found the whole process horrible. Have you bought anything before? Have you?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Like just worrying about like buyer's remorse, or?
Well, so my previous laptop was getting a little long in the tooth. I was struggling to play some games for work on it, and so I figured I should upgrade the shed. No better time to do it than Black Friday week, as it's called now, on Amazon. And so I had my eyes on gaming laptops, and they and also keeping like sort of one eye on the Hot UK Deals forum where they publicise deals, and lots of tech available for cheaper than it was the week before, it seemed. But there's a particular form of stress where you are reading opinions from people you've never met, you probably don't trust, who feel very strongly about whether or not something that you're intending to buy is worth it or not.
Yeah, so the thing has got 4 stars, 4.5 stars maybe, and you're like, well, what could be wrong with this? I'll just check the reviews. And you go, well, I should look at a couple of negative ones, and then you're like, right, I'm not having that. Definitely
not having that. So the one I settled on was a Lenovo LOQ gaming laptop. It was previously like £1,300. It's got an RTX 4060 in it, Steve. I mean, if you want to use their AI powered frame generation system, it's the clear choice. It seems that card. Now it was going. It was offered on Very, which is the catalog style store, which encourages you to take credit for $8.99, I think it was. So it dropped quite significantly. And then actually, if you were a first time customer, which I was, and you opened a line of credit with them, this is how they get you. It was 20% off. So I think I ended up getting it for sort of £640, RTX 4060. But oh no, on the Hot UK's Deals forum. So I ordered it. I was quite excited about it. And then you carry on reading things about it. And, PC Gamer gave the laptop 70%. I'm like, oh. Everyone else is saying, it's so the build quality is bad. Good. Keyboard's rubbish. Okay, great. Some person said that the screen's so bad, you can't see the colour red on it. and all the while, do I need red?
You do if you're playing Robocop.
Yeah, that's true. All the while, I'm excited about the purchase, but then also going, oh God, it's going to be rubbish, isn't it? I'd sort of rationalised the purchase by going, well, look, it's mainly going to be used in the shed, right? So it's heavy, Steve. It's a heavy laptop. Everyone likes thin, light laptops. Heavy, but I'm not going to move it much. And plus, I'm going to plug it into another screen if I want to see red. But yeah, it was just, I ordered it. I was excited about it. The more I read about it, the more I dreaded it. It's arrived and it's brilliant.
Is it brilliant?
Yeah, it is.
Can you see the red?
I can see red on it. I don't know what they were talking about. But what a way to suck out the fun out of, being excited about a new piece of technology arriving. It was terrific. Anyway, it's here and it's great. So Yahoo sucks to PC Gamer and the ilk. I'm very happy with my purchase. I was playing Cyberpunk with ray tracing on. It's over 60 FPS, Steve. It's a bold new world where I can revisit old games. So yes, that was my Black Friday purchase this week. I'm never buying anything again.
Simon, we're a video game radio show. We talk about video games for an hour. We run Video game news section presented by CharlesBot, our AI newsreader. That'll happen shortly. We have video game letters coming up, or do we?
Or don't we? You also might hear intermittent fan noises, by the way. It's been going on. Because, again, it's loud, isn't it? So let's see how we get on.
Wait, are you running this off your laptop?
I am, yeah. It's plugged into the shed. It's now powering the shed.
Okay, fantastic. I thought you looked a bit less red today. Yeah, we'll have video game reviews coming up at the end of the show. Very much looking forward to seeing what Simon's been playing this week on his new gaming laptop. And got something very special this week, don't we, Simon? It's not a guest.
Or is it? You will be hearing from our responsible adult because over the weekend I pulled together just a little bit of audio from our Japanese trip where we venture into an arcade.
That's so exciting. I remember that day. Maybe we can do some director's commentary after that to replace the letters section that we don't have, not because of us, because of you.
We're here, exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, but we are a video game radio show. We can cover the news, and it is time right now for that news. It's CharlesBot.
Video game news with me, CharlesBot 1.1. Ubisoft has blamed a technical error for the unwelcome appearance of a pop-up ad in Assassin's Creed games this week. The ad, promoting a Black Friday deal for the latest game in the series, Assassin's Creed Mirage, interrupted players while they were trying to access the in-game map. Ubisoft, known for promoting other games in the series via the main menu, quickly resolved the issue. Meanwhile, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Ubisoft's biggest PS5 and Xbox Series XS launch to date, is set to receive a free update in December. Now, if only my toaster would stop showing ads for crumpets. In the spirit of this humorous mishap, let's imagine some other ridiculous ways games could include adverts. Perhaps in the middle of a high-speed car chase in Grand Theft Auto, a billboard could suddenly spring up, advertising the latest model of the car you're driving. Or maybe in the midst of a heated battle in Call of Duty, your character could receive a phone call from a telemarketer selling life insurance. The possibilities for hilariously inappropriate game adverts are endless.
Thank you, Charles.
Did you see this?
I like the pause that he gave between those two things. Where it's like, no. Here are some hilarious things I could also say. Did I see this? I did see this. I saw the internet largely, in fact, wholly not believing Ubisoft.
Yeah. We're sorry. Sorry, we're advertising our game off. Yes. Yes. It did look quite funny, though, didn't it?
It did. Now you're a Ubisoft defender. You've been enjoying Assassin's Creed recently. How do you feel about this, Simon? Do you think that they are telling the truth when they said it was an accident?
Well, it was a waste of an advert on me, or it would have been, because I already own Assassin's Creed Mirage, don't I? So I don't know. It would... you would have to hope so. You'd have to hope that they were being so stupid as to put an advert within a map for another game. But it'd be interesting to know how the sales did. That's for sure. But it certainly did look funny in some of the clips that were shared online. I guess we'll have to see whether it gets repeated, won't we?
Well, or as Reddit think, whether it gets repeated a couple of years down the line, because that's usually, it's the tip of the iceberg, Simon. It's the tip of the iceberg. First, they accidentally put an advert in the maps in your game. Next thing you know, they're putting adverts on pop-up billboards in GTA, as Charles suggested, which I assume already happens, right? Like, there's plenty of billboards advertising things in video games, in car racing video games. I'm not so sure about calls from telemarketers, though.
It's only a matter of time until Ubisoft accidentally ring you, Steve.
In a move as invigorating as a cup of Earl Grey on a drizzly London afternoon, Yo-Yo Games has now made its game development engine, Gamemaker, available for non-commercial use at no cost. Previously, developers were required to pay a monthly subscription fee to export or publish their games. Now they can do so without parting with a single penny unless they intend to commercialize their game. In such a case, a one-time commercial license fee of $1.99 is necessary. Console developers, however, must still be prepared to pay, as the $79.99 monthly fee persists. It's somewhat like having your cake and eating it too, but only if you're not planning to sell slices. In the Unity boardroom, the news hit like a thunderbolt on a clear day. The room was filled with a stunned silence, broken only by the soft rustling of papers and the occasional sniffle. One by one, heads bowed, tears welled up in eyes, and trickled down onto the polished mahogany table. The usually vibrant room was filled with a sense of melancholy. The Unity team, always proud of their competitive edge, felt the sting of this unexpected move. It was a day they would remember, a day that brought them together in shared sorrow, a day that made them more determined than ever to rise above the challenge.
I just asked him to speculate on what was going on in the Unity boardroom.
He really ran with that, didn't he?
Beautiful.
Yeah, perfect,
when they make the movie.
We were thinking about using Gamemaker, the company, Magic Cave, the company that I work for and with, to build out my new puzzle game. So, at the start of the year, when we started working on this brilliant upcoming puzzle game, switched out of Unity and into something else, and it was going to be either Gamemaker or the option that we went with, which is a default, the engine that King used to use and sort of have spun off into its own thing now.
Well, if only they'd made this announcement earlier, Steve. They could have had your custom, couldn't they?
They could have done. And this, we've both used Gamemaker, haven't we? It's a really nice engine to work with. This seems like a really, really strong move on their part.
It's a good PR move, wasn't it? Yes, I've bought and paid for two versions of Gamemaker. I think it was Gamemaker 2 and Gamemaker 3, plus a couple of the export modules and stuff. It's always the way, isn't it? Always the way. I think I bought Gamemaker 3 and then decided to stop making games. I think I bought Gamemaker 3 because what happened was I used to do it on the train on the way into work, didn't I? And then the Switch came out. So I was playing games rather than making them. The world can breathe a sigh of relief. But yeah, this is great. It's a great engine for getting rapid prototypes up and running. Very, very user-friendly. Very, Gamemaker will always do its best to work around any errors in your code, and in mine there were many. It was a joy to use, and it was good to see lots of positivity about this when they announced it during the week.
So you think you're going to be going back in, Simon?
No,
Bangman 2?
No, absolutely not.
Epic Games is preparing to bid adieu to Fortnite's current season with a bang, quite literally, in a live event dubbed The Big Bang. Scheduled for December 2nd, this spectacle promises a memorable reveal and even features a surprise guest, the real Slim Shady Eminem. The event, which includes flashing lights, will also showcase Lego, rhythm and racing modes. However, Epic has issued a warning for those with photosensitivity or epilepsy. So if you're game for a bit of nostalgia and don't mind the occasional seizure, this could be just the ticket. Looking ahead, we can only imagine the increasingly outlandish ways Fortnite might choose to end its seasons. Perhaps they'll host a giant rubber duck invasion event where players must navigate a sea of squeaky toys to reach the victory royale. Or maybe they'll introduce a dance-off at the disco finale, where the last player standing isn't the one with the most kills, but the one with the best dance moves. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see a Pac-Man takeover, with players running around a giant maze, gobbling up power-ups while avoiding ghostly opponents. With Fortnite, the future is always full of surprises, and we can't wait to see what they come up with next.
I saw the Lego stuff, Simon, did you?
I didn't, no. Tell me about it.
Well, all I know is Lego's social media accounts ran a teaser of the Fortnite llama built out of Lego.
What?
Now, that's not what Charles... I assumed that meant that there are Fortnite sets coming. And I guess that might... Because what Charles referenced there was a Lego mode.
It was, wasn't it?
in Fortnite. So maybe it's a thing that goes two ways, or maybe our AI bot has misunderstood the proposition. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be careful here because I can't remember who told me some stuff about it, and whether it's confidential. But I suspect that it's probably just the Lego llama. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you suspect.
Well, no, that's as that said. Charles seems to know what he's talking about. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Lego interaction will be.
Mm-hmm.
They may or may not have been working on this for some time. I can't remember.
So Fortnite's back, Simon. This is, we haven't talked about it on the news for a while, but they had their biggest number of users ever. We talked about that, I think, last week, or was it before we left?
Yeah. Oh, the footballers will be doing the flossing again soon, won't they, Steve?
It's all coming back. You think this is a brief moment and then it'll be on the decline again? Or do you think the kids are back into it?
Yeah, so the longer term plans with Fortnite are more about. So we've seen them open up the creator side of things, where you can sort of use it as an engine in itself to do a lot of different things. And I think that the Lego collaboration potentially makes a lot of sense there. So, there's no doubt that something like Roblox has piqued the interest of Epic, and I think this is probably a move towards that, more of that. So who knows, Steve?
I had a little go with with Unreal Editor for Fortnite, and it's very, very easy to make a game that is very, very similar to Fortnite. And then the further you move away from Fortnite, the more things you have to break. But obviously that's going to go wider, and I imagine on their roadmap is just bringing Unreal Editor and Unreal Editor for Fortnite, closer and closer together, so that, like you say, everyone can create their own worlds, their own games, and they can benefit from those, but also so can Epic. And that's the true vision of the metaverse, isn't it, Simon?
Indeed, yes. Maybe Bangman 2 will be coming to Fortnite.
In a delightful twist of reality, EA is inviting fans to become the ultimate property mogul in celebration of The Sims 4's upcoming expansion pack for rent. On 7th and the 8th of December 2023, a pop-up installation of the fictitious Land Grab and Amp, Sun's estate agents, will be open in central London, offering fans a chance to try out the expansion pack and interact with their favourite characters. Unfortunately, most free tickets have already been claimed, but a waitlist is available. The expansion pack itself allows players to experience the hustle and bustle of being a landlord in the vibrant city of Tomarang. Now here's a wild thought. What if the video games industry could learn something from the notorious behaviour of evil landlords? Imagine game developers implementing the same ruthless tactics to monopolise the market, hiking up prices for in-game purchases and creating artificial scarcity to drive demand. Or perhaps they could introduce a pay-to-play model where players are charged exorbitant rent for their virtual properties, forcing them to grind for hours or spend real money to avoid eviction. These outrageous strategies could potentially revolutionise the industry, pushing the boundaries of player engagement and monetization. Of course, this is purely hypothetical and not a suggestion for actual practice.
Is that right, Charles?
Thanks.
Well, some of those practices, but both those practices are already in there, aren't they? Evil landlords in the games industry.
Another nice pop-up event, Simon, the sort of thing that you used to craft a couple of decades ago.
Used to be my bread and butter, this sort of stuff. It really did. Yeah, I've got a fondness for them. It's a way of getting it's a way of getting a news story on your favourite radio show, isn't it? But which ones have I done before? I did. We did a Resident Evil. So we stood for a political party for Resident Evil. That was terrifying. I had apparently the London police do have a file on me now because what we did then, we invited people to come down and bungee jump for a copy of Borderlands. That was actually terrifying. I went up on the crane and took some photos, and that was horrific.
You've never bungee jumped then?
No.
Me neither.
But lots of people did for a copy of Borderlands 2.
I mean, people pay to do it.
Well, yeah, no, it was. I think the original idea was that we wanted to put Steam codes on the Bungie mats.
So you had to grab them.
Exactly. Well, you had to sort of memorise it as you sort of head down on it. But we didn't do that in the end. We just gave everybody who was brave enough to do it. It was oversubscribed, that.
Yeah.
Did I must have told you about the time that we were going to project onto the eclipse of the sun. like when you're doing this sort of thing, right? As an agency, your job is often to come up with ideas just to show that you're thinking of them. And the best thing the thing that you hope for is that people will go, "Oh, that's a great idea, but we can't do it." But unfortunately, that with the political party, which I genuinely did get, there was lots of terrifying consequences of doing that, and actually standing in a general election. With the projecting, it was one of the Command & Conquer games. We were gonna, as the sky darkened, we were going to project Kane onto the shadow, using a laser projector. And what we needed to guarantee was that we're actually going to do it onto cloud cover. We're going to do it down in the southwest. So as everybody's really excited and looking forward to this sort of once in a generation event, we were going to advertise a video game on it. I think we called it off that week because we couldn't be certain that there'd be the cloud cover needed. I mean, it turns out on the day that there would have been, but I'm really glad that we didn't do it. We would have caused a lot of trouble.
Yeah. The Sims is one of those huge video game sub-industries that barely touches me at all, that I don't hear about. But it they continue to churn out the expansions, and people love it. Simon, do you know anyone who plays The Sims?
No, not anymore. No, it's quite a time commitment, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's seemingly doing well. But looking forward to the new estate agent expansion.
Activision is on a mission to revolutionize your gaming experience by tailoring it to your live stream viewing habits. A recently published patent reveals that the company plans to track what you watch and use this information to personalize game recommendations. This could even extend to creating a game specifically for you or modifying an existing game to align with your preferences. On a different note, Activision's Call of Duty HQ launcher, designed to streamline game management and switching, has been criticized for its confusing interface and large file sizes. Ah, the joys of modern gaming, eh? Now let's have some fun and imagine some outlandish ways Activision might try to track player behavior to sell their games. Perhaps they'll start monitoring your snack consumption during gaming sessions, tailoring game suggestions to your favorite chip flavor, or maybe they'll analyze your pet's reactions to certain games, assuming that if your cat purrs during Call of Duty, you'll definitely want the latest release. They could even start tracking your sleep patterns, suggesting games based on whether you're a night owl or an early bird. Who knows, maybe they'll even invent a game that changes based on your mood, detected through your controller's vibrations. The possibilities are as endless as they are ridiculous.
Aren't they?
They are. I don't get this, Simon. How are they going to do that? Surely that data is not theirs.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand it either. But yesterday evening when I was doing this, there weren't that many interesting news stories. I have seen some more have popped up because it's the Game Awards, isn't it? Lots of Game Awards coverage has happened this morning, which no doubt we'll be reflecting on next week, having stayed up for the 5 or 6 hours that it's going to be banging on about it. But yes, I mean, and again, surely they'd only be recommending Activision games to you as well. So there's quite a limited way of them to analyse what you're up to.
I wonder if it's almost patent trolling to a point that they put that out there and say, yeah, when we have all of this data, we can do this. And that means someone like Twitch or YouTube Live or whatever can't do the same thing without asking them nicely or licensing it or doing a deal with them where it only recommends Activision games to players. Makes sense, though. I have nothing more to say about that.
Let's crack on then.
Shall we? All right. Thanks, Charles.
One Life Left video game news with
me, CharlesBot 1.1.
You are listening to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. We're a video game radio show. We are the longest running video game radio show about video games that broadcasts in the English language in the world.
That's what it says on the box.
We are also a podcast. You can find the podcast at onelifeleft.com. There you can find the show notes, which have been put together by our under caretaker, Phil, who did some nice little edits to last week's show, which is why you should listen live. You can listen live to the show that we record. We record on Monday lunchtime, which is what time it is right now. Obviously, you might have been able to hear the rainstorm in the background during the news section. Very, very cloudy in London. You can join us on for the live session by joining our Discord, which you can find. Link at hello.onelifeleft.com.
Indeed, and there are a few people doing that just now.
Right, we went to Japan the week before last, didn't we, Simon?
We did.
I miss it dearly. I am starting to get back into my normal sleeping pattern now. Still a bit tired in the late evenings, but dearly, dearly miss it. I haven't had ramen for a week. I
got advertised Huel noodles today. I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder by any stretch of the imagination, but I was tempted. I was like, noodles.
Noodles.
Huel noodles.
But we did a lot over there. We had a lovely, lovely, lovely time. Last week, we talked about our visit to the Nintendo store, didn't we? But that wasn't the only gaming content. What else did we do, Simon?
We did many things, some of which we tried to capture via audio. What we have coming up is our as live broadcast of what it's like in a Japanese arcade. So we've made it into our first game station. It's really noisy. Steve.
Yes. Hi.
We've made it to our first game station. It's quite noisy in here, isn't it?
It's really, really noisy. But there are, after 2 floors of crane machines, there are improbably some actual games here.
Can you describe what you're going to be playing, Steve?
Well, there are 4 machines of that Taiko game over there. There's a fighting game, Ganba Legends. I can't read the rest of it. And then there's Arsenal Base.
What's Arsenal Base?
No idea. It's got cards, hasn't it? It must be a card trading game. You place your cards in those slots at the front. You can see some examples of the cards, I think, at the top. There's a couple of fighting games down here behind me. What's this on?
I mean, I don't know. It all looks great, but I've got absolutely no idea what it is or how to play them.
There's a lot going on in this.
There's some dancing ladies.
Anime girls with microphones. There isn't much way of interacting, it seems. 2 buttons.
Yeah, 2 buttons. And crucially, a coin slot. Are you going to brave any or not? What's this? This looks like Bit Trip, does it?
It's
a rhythm.
This is like para or something. It's like, you wave your hands. Oh, no, it is hitting. So it's going da-da-da-da-da-da. Left, right, all the way along that.
Groove Coaster. There we go.
Oh, so it's literally an arcade version of the... It's like, your Japanese is holding up today, isn't it?
We've just arrived on the 4th floor of Sato Game Station. The 4th floor is advertised as music games, arcade games and medal games. Our responsible adult, Jonathan Smith, has suggested that we don't attend the 5th floor, which is stated as simply...
Brooming.
So the noise you can hear at the moment is what looks like quite an old man playing a game called Pop Music.
No, it's Pop and Music, or Pop and Music.
It's a rhythm action game.
Yeah, I used to have the Dreamcast controller for that. I was not this good.
How old does that man look? And he looks like a businessman, doesn't he?
He is.
He's a businessman. It's 10:15 in the morning. Right, so we're trying to work out how to play things. Steve, you have an observation?
There's a man playing what looks like I guess it's a grand version of one of those peer machines where you feed in coins and they go down slots and then you win more coins. What do you call them? Coin pushers.
Coin pushers.
So he's got like a pushing technique where he puts like, I don't know, 10 coins in each hand and then jiggles his fingers and they all go in at once. I've never seen anything like it.
What do you think he's like between the sheets?
This is one of the equivalents of, again, those games you get in at Piers where you bet on horses, except for it's massive. There are 10 chairs, 10 stools around the size. 10 stools around this huge table with mechanical horses.
Jonathan Smith's just arrived with £200 each. What are we going to spend it on, Jonathan?
I should buy horses.
Okay, so Jonathan's steer now on a game that's costing 100 yen each. It's a game called Buddies, I think. It looks... so they're standing opposite two spherical screens where the objective seems to be you need to bash the outside of the screens in time with something. It looks like it's starting now. The current game is finished. Steve, did you have fun?
It was amazing. It was absolutely fantastic. Maybe it's a 200 yen game and that's what's...
Well, it says there are 2 credits. Jonathan seems to be in. You can plug your headphones in. It looks like...
Maybe I'm waiting for him to select.
Okay. We're still unclear what's going on, although there was a camera at the top of the arcade machine which is focused exclusively on Jonathan's chest. So it's a picture... Right, he's had a picture of his chest taken. He's now crouching down. And away he goes. The purpose of the photo is uncertain. Oh, it's just to signify who's playing. Okay, so it's taken quite a while to get into the game. We're getting value for our 100 yen. Steve's trying to get a refund out of the machine. He's one of those kids who tries to stick his arm up a 2-penny falls machine. Okay, Jonathan selected the basic mode. Basic level 4 with you, it says. Although, yeah, it's taken a couple of minutes just to get going.
It says please wait until the current game is finished.
Come on then. And it is a pushing button on the outside of the screen.
So there's 8 buttons around a circle, and as the music plays, Jonathan has to hit those buttons. How would you describe those buttons, like the sound? Because it's like a little bit plasticky, aren't they?
Plastic buttons. It's now added some complications to it, where Jonathan had to hit 2 at the same time. It does seem quite simple, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's playing on basic, isn't he?
Basic level 4. And now he's getting perfect. He's on a combo of 4. 2-handed there, the yellow icons. So I guess the gimmick with this is that it's a circular screen, right?
Yeah, right.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's what
it takes a photo of your chest.
Which is being projected, I'd imagine, on the outside of the building.
But below Godzilla's head.
Exactly. Okay, oh, it's turning touch screen now as well. Hello. That was unexpected. Oh, so you can either touch the screen or the buttons, making the buttons almost redundant.
Yeah. I'm a bit confused there. Yeah. So when you have those bars, you've got to go at the right speed rather than do it as quickly as possible. So place your hand in the bar. There we go.
He's on a combo of 68.
He's got it.
I'm surprised that there aren't crowds gathering. He's done well to maintain the combo here. He's up to 90 now.
One of those. Yeah, he moved slightly too fast on the drag.
He's all right.
It's a just.
Okay.
Combo hits 100.
He's hit 100. Congratulations, Jonathan.
And now a little bear on a trapeze.
And then it's taken a picture of him, has it?
Or his chest.
Clear. Well, Jonathan, could you talk us through that? A double A score.
It was incredible. Thank you. I was one with the music.
7 out of 10. It was an abrupt ending, Steve. And you're still muted. I think Steve is now stuck on mute. He's off.
Okay, there we go. I'm off mute. I muted myself because, well, one, I was enjoying that and giggling all the way through. Thank you for preparing that, Simon, from our audio snippets. Secondly, because I wanted to do a little bit of research into what that game is.
Okay, and what did you find?
It's called Maimai, Maimai. It's an arcade rhythm game developed and distributed by Sega. I didn't know. Came out in 2012, although obviously there have been many, many, many more versions of it that most recently, and I assume this is the one we were playing, DX Buddies, released in Japan on September the 14th, 2023.
Whoa! So it was reasonably new. So we were establishing high scores that are presumably still there.
The thing I like most from this article, though, is that it said, the defining feature of Maimai's arcade cabinet is a striking resemblance to a front-loading washing machine. Which is true, right? That's true. The reference. Early advertisements and promotional materials had different joke catchphrases sprinkled in, such as, "It's not a washing machine," and "No water." At first deployment test, Maimai had a "no washing" sign written on its cabinet. So early in development, the original concept was actually a music player rather than a rhythm game. I really, really enjoyed it, Simon. I do note that from your reportage of the event, you didn't point out that I was the best.
No, but Jonathan played it first, didn't he?
Yeah, true. And I did learn from his adventuring inside the system. I did enjoy it. You also pointed out we had very different techniques, me and Jonathan.
Well, indeed. But yeah, your combo went, didn't you get all the notes?
Yeah, I got all the notes.
All the notes.
But Jonathan, very precise, touching me, I was a slap, slap, slap on the buttons.
Is it not mentioned on that Wikipedia page that you got all the notes?
It should be, alongside a photo of my chest somewhere. What do you think about the arcade generally, Simon?
I grew up in arcades, Boscombe Pier, Bournemouth Pier, any pier, an arcade on it, I was there. So I'm quite comfortable with the environment. I felt very uncomfortable in Tokyo in that I was just too nervous to do anything. I mean, the coin dropping pachinko machine and the techniques that people were doing. And again, that businessman was there for as long as we were. And he was in a sort of curtained off arcade machine. You could just see his legs and his arms flailing as he was doing whatever he was doing at 10:30 in the morning.
I agree. I mean, we went early in our trip, right? And so we were still sort of getting used to everything. I think I was a bit when I was talking about the horse racing game there, I did sort of flash back to being there and just feel a bit embarrassed about putting some money in there. Really kind of slightly regret that because I would have liked to experience that and some of the other things there as well. Although, truthfully, I mean, listening to that, you hear a lot of noise in the background, but almost all of that noise, it sounds like a vibrant place. Almost all of that noise was the machines. There were very few people there, and there were actually kind of not that many arcade games there. I would say at least half, maybe 3/5 of this Taito arcade was not arcade machines, but claw machines, right? I think the first 2 floors were entirely just those claw-grabbing games, which really, It didn't surprise me because I've been to one of these places in, Like a Dragon or in Yakuza before, and that's what they're like. But it did surprise me on a human level because when I see one of those machines, I'm like, don't we all get it now? They're rigged, you can't actually win the prize until it tells you to, and maybe that's the conceit we all buy into. Yeah, it's just like a lottery game that eventually you'll get the toy inside there. Still, it surprises me that lottery game holds for 2 floors of a big building.
And we certainly weren't brave enough to go up to the brooming floor. Were we?
We didn't go brooming. No, we didn't.
Sadly, Jonathan did play Initial D, but the audio of that was pretty dull, and the race went on for quite some time. But it was
but it was a story-based car racing game. So he would race, he would have to track down someone, tail them for a while, and then you get a cutscene in the middle, and then he'd continue, and then it would essentially say, "Well done, insert a coin for the next chapter." Which we did not do.
Didn't do, no, but there we go. That was our visit to an arcade. Yeah, very, very noisy, overwhelming all of the senses. It was a great environment to experience, but one which I was too embarrassed to actually enjoy myself.
It's time for the letters.
Messages and forward BCC One Life letters.
We don't have any letters.
I was going to say it's an optimistic use of the theme there.
We don't have any letters. How is that? Like 4 weeks ago or something, Simon, we had a glut of letters.
Yeah.
We had too many. Everyone was so good.
We should have rationed them, shouldn't we?
We should. We should. It's ridiculous. Come on. It takes seconds to write to us. It takes even less to post a message in Discord, which you can do in the mailbag channel. But if you want to do it old school, you can email us by emailing
team@onelifeleft.com.
Please do that for next week. Don't make us incentivise it again.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through the Discord there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. We've got plenty of reviews, which we could come to shortly.
We do have
no
user
letters.
reviews. Any other business, Simon?
Not for me at the moment, no. We're about to kick off Jingle Jam at Yogscast. Starts on Friday, 2 weeks of fun, japes, laughter, and raising a lot of money for charity. So that'll be on the Yogscast Twitch channel for 2 weeks, and across loads of other content creators getting involved this year. So you should be seeing lots of that. And the games collection, which is available to anybody who donates above $35, is looking really impressive this year, I have to say. And for the first time ever, somebody's going to be launching a brand new game into the Jingle Jam collection. So, which is super cool. You'll be able to get a copy of Make Way, which is this brilliant racing game where you design your course and then race it. So if you imagine sort of circuit breakers or micro machines crossed with something like Ultimate Chicken Horse, it's a lot of fun. And you'll be able to get that as part of the Jingle Jam collection this year.
And there may be some more One Life Left adjacent Jingle Jam news next week. But we will talk about that then. I'm off to Slush tomorrow, Simon.
Yes, that's the business-focused event in... is it in Iceland? No, where is it?
It's in Helsinki. In Finland. I'm going out there for work for 3 days. I'll be there Tuesday evening until Friday afternoon. Very, very excited about the meetings and the people I'm going to be seeing over there, and excited as well to do Maraoke on Tuesday night with the Nordic game lot, which we did last year, and it was super, super, super fun. So if you are out in Slush, let us know. If you hear this before Monday, let us know, and I'll get you a ticket for the Nordic game party.
What is Slush? I've never been.
So it's tech and investment focused. It's huge. The way you can tell it's huge is that flight prices out there are absolutely insane.
Right.
So are hotels. So I am staying in a slightly weird Airbnb.
Okay.
3 nights.
On your own or with colleagues?
Staying on my own. It seems very friendly. You know, the guy's already messaged me a couple of times to say if we need any breakfast recommendations, he can sort us out. Got a free gym pass if I want to go to the gym. Definitely don't.
Right.
Yeah, so looking forward to that and looking forward to not being murdered in my Airbnb. There's also a load of side events. So one of those is the whole Nordic game thing and the parties. And I am already pre-registered for too many parties, Simon. I'm going to do a bit of party hopping. But there is an event at the Icelandic ambassador's place.
Okay.
Which just says drinks with the First Lady of Iceland.
Right. And is this via the conference or via the Airbnb?
No, this is via the conference, and it's a side event, official side event. Now, I think in order to be invited to this, it's in the invite thing, it tells you who the event is focused on. I'm pretty sure it says it's focused on investors.
Okay.
Which I am not, or founders, which I am. So could go along to that. Unfortunately, it's not focused on media, and the reason that's relevant is One Life Left has a media pass for Slush this year.
Excellent.
So in the same manner as you recorded some clips out in Japan, I'm going to record some in Slush as well.
Great.
See what gaming content I can find over there, even if it's just me on stage at Maraoke tomorrow night. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be good to get some opinion from the First Lady of Iceland, though, wouldn't it?
Shall I? What do you think of about Maraoke?
Yeah.
I have signed up to another karaoke event, rival karaoke event on Thursday night.
Okay.
Which is hosted by 3 drag queens from London. So we might have some guests on next week's One Life Left as well.
Great.
We'll see.
You never stay still, do you? You were away last week as well, and you were in Japan the week before.
It's been a busy time. Yes. It's been busy end of the year. I think that's it, though, for the end of the year.
Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah. We'll see where January takes us. I've got some things to say about that, but I'll have to save them for next Monday.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it.
Right. It is 12 minutes to go, so probably about time for One Life Less reviews. Simon, you've got a new gaming laptop. What have you been playing on it? Cyberpunk.
Yes, I've started Cyberpunk again accidentally. So, yes, I was keen to try out the AI frame generation. Not that I need it, because I've got an i7 RTX 4060 actually, which goes up to 140 watts. I don't know.
Isn't that different though? If it's in a laptop,
hence the reference about wattage, Steve.
Okay.
Because some laptops have them underclocked, of course. Yes,
right.
It's not the equivalent of a full, desktop.
Yeah, just seems a bit disingenuous, Simon, to be going around calling it a 4060 when it's actually a 4060 small lowercase m.
What, on par with last year's 3060 Ti's, Steve? These are all the things that you see referenced. I don't understand that. What do you mean?
I don't know.
But yeah, so I loaded up Cyberpunk, and now I've started it, and I'm just about to embark on the heist with Jackie. I hope nothing happens to Jackie, because I really do like him. All seems to be going very well for us. I started off as a street kid this time round, having finished the game as a nomad previously. You get the option to jump straight into Phantom Liberty. It says, what do you want to do? Do you want to start a new game? Or do you want to jump into Phantom Liberty? Brackets, not recommended. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, no, thanks for that. And rather than reload my save from a couple of years ago, I have to say, it looks brilliant on the Ally as well. And so I'm very much enjoying the sort of cloud syncing of games, and that you can play it on the laptop and then play it on the handheld. It's really good. So, yes, hopefully we'll be getting up to Phantom Liberty in about 10 hours, they say. So it'd be good. I loaded up Spider-Man Miles Morales, and to my eyes, I mean, who needs to see red when you're playing Spider-Man? But to my eyes, it looked as good as the PlayStation 5 version on this little old laptop. And then I finished Robocop, and that's like all games. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was great fun, but I thought I was finishing it maybe 3 hours before I finished it. And there was one bit, you're like, oh, cool, what a great... There was a moment in it where I thought it was going to end just in sort of like the best way, without, without one more boss battle or one more sort of super hard thing. And I thought, oh, this is exactly how you'd end a film like that. And then it went, oh no, you're gonna have to do one more thing again. Oh, okay, but it's still great. And I because we are still in the Steam Autumn Sale, I bought the Terminator game, which I played the first sort of 20 minutes of, made by the same team. Yeah, that looks good, but I fear I've been distracted by Cyberpunk, so that's maybe all you'll hear for the next few weeks. 7 out of 10.
I haven't played very much, and at the same time I've played a lot. And the thing I have played a lot of is Puzzmo, the game that I talked about last week, which is the new... What do they call them? He has a word for them. Thoughtful puzzle games collection by a friend of the show, Zach Gage. And last week, I think I mentioned that I've been really enjoying some parts of it, and other parts of it I don't get. One of those things that I wasn't sure about was the crossword. Now, I am a big New York Times crossword fan, and I think I mentioned last week on the show that it's almost foolhardy to try and go up against the New York Times crossword because it's such a cultural institution in the US. I don't know how you managed to take that thing down. Now, the thing is, one of the things I really, really like about playing games made by people who are smarter than me is understanding why I've got things wrong. And I always had this sort of feeling that there would be something there that I wasn't quite getting at that point and would learn. And so it proved with the crossword. So the crossword is not an attempt to do something versus the New York Times, but instead either complement it or kind of replace it by being different. Now, yes, it has those different rules, but the thing that is really different about it is the time it takes universally. New York Times crossword is hard. It gets harder throughout the week, and sometimes on Fridays and Saturdays specifically, it can take me half an hour or longer to beat that crossword, and I enjoy that half an hour. It's great. The one on Puzzmo is designed to be done quickly. And even when it's challenging, I can do it under 10 minutes. And that's because, A, the clues are differently set up. It's just an easier crossword. But B, because of the size of it, which is neither the small New York Times crossword or the big New York Times crossword, it is between it is MIDI. And variously, it's different shapes and sizes as well. But it's always quite small. It's doable. It's manageable. And the fact that it's done under 10 minutes it makes it much easier for me to just go, oh yeah, I'll do that, and know it's over with. The other thing is, the clues themselves are more modern. It doesn't mind breaking conventions. It also doesn't mind being a bit sexy sometimes. Simon.
What?
I know. Surprised me.
Just a 4-letter crossword? Is it? It's 4-letter words.
No spoilers, but it was, it's definitely aiming, I think, at a younger demographic, and a demographic that is time poor. Now, that speaks to the only criticism I still have of Puzzmo. It is fully possible to turn off every metric that it is scoring on you. You can just play these things for fun, but you know the scoring is there in the background. And so many of those scoring schemes, in fact, I think all of them have something to do with time. There is a natural time pressure to all of these games, and I just don't like playing those games like that. All of the games, even Type Shift, which I generally find quite drudgy, would be better if they had the timer removed, at least for me. And I would love it if there could be a mode in the back end that switches off the timer and allows you to compare your scores with everyone else on a scoring scheme that has no time involved. Other than that, I'm much more in love with the site than I was last week. And if you are into those sort of games, I'd encourage you to quickly subscribe before the deals run out, which they will this week, I think.
Are they letting people in now?
There are increasingly open ways you can get in, and for Thanksgiving there is a thing that anyone inside can share which gets everyone in. There's also a free to download puzzle book, I think, for everyone, which you can solve a puzzle and that gets you in. So if you really want to get into Puzzmo, just go to the site, have a look. I'm sure you'll be able to get in. If you can't, join One Life Left's Discord and I'll send you a code that gets you in. 7 out of 10.
Look at you. In our very own Cyber Mondays deals, you're welcoming listeners into the fold. I mean, obviously, I was desperate to get in because you couldn't get in, and now I'm in, I don't use it. So
yeah, of course.
Just me and my Puzzmo account, my Google Circles account.
I also came third in really bad chess the other day, which remains my favourite of all of the games. It's absolutely brilliant take on chess. I did want to say I've also been playing Pixel Cup Soccer. Have you played that?
This is literally the first time I've heard of it.
It's a really nice arcade soccer thing. Lots and lots of features. Has quite an annoying tutorial thing where you're trying to do something and it pops up, goes, hey, have you tried this? You can turn it off. Haven't played it enough to give it a full review yet, but I played a couple of friendly matches and it was really good fun. 7 out of 10.
£9.79 on the Steam store. Look at that. Currently 30% off. You've got 28 hours left as of the time that we're recording. So
we need a bargain section, don't we? That's what the kids do.
It does look nice, actually. I'm not going to buy it.
That's the second time you've said Billy's Bargains today.
Is it?
Well, what does that mean?
Billy Bargains?
Talking of which, I've asked, since Tokyo, I've asked maybe 8 or 9 people if they know what the dogs are barking means.
Oh, yeah.
First person to say yes was yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. And was that someone who's insane?
No. Well, maybe, actually, I don't know. No, it wasn't. But up until that point, I genuinely thought I was going mad a little bit.
Listeners, if you know what the dogs are barking, if Steve was to say to you late one night, as he did, that the dogs are barking, would you feel safe or would you feel concerned? Okay, don't look it up on the internet. If you could let us know what you think Steve meant by saying when he said the dogs are barking.
I led into you.
Bearing in mind that we were in, quite a sexy part of Tokyo as well, so I wasn't quite sure what he was referencing, but his dogs were barking. Please let us know what you think he meant by emailing
team@onelifeleft.com.
Well, Steve, the dogs are barking for the show, aren't they?
Or are they?
Woof, woof. Thank you for listening.
It's the end of the show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you to Resonance FM for hosting once again. It's been super fun. We will see you all this time next week. But until then,
goodbye.
Goodbye. What do I do? Hit stop.